Hello there. You don't have any experience building boats, do you? I'm rather stuck. What, without any instructions and all? Confusing stuff.
This is the story of Work is Never Done, the most annoying quest for the player taking place during the events of the Shivering Isles DLC. When entering the Choosy Beggar, we overhear the residents of New Sheoth often discussing a strange workaholic Nord saying,
"Hello. I heard Tove the Unrestful is building something again. I heard he will buy calipers and tongs from people he likes. See you later. Hi."
Loitering around the beggar around noon, we notice the balding Nord enter, saying oddities to the other regulars.
I just discovered that water is actually heavier than air. Who would have thought?
And even,
A caliper a day makes the skyboat... You wait, that doesn't rhyme. Busy day today, isn't it?
when you talk to him, it becomes quite clear that Tove is stuck in a different time zone entirely, and he will just ask,
Do you have any yet?
While confusing, we're presented with two options, either play along or ask him what he's talking about. The latter we say, not yet.
We had an agreement, don't you remember? I'm trying to build a skyboat, and you're supposed to bring me calipers and tongs. It all happened tomorrow. I'm sure this conversation will all come back to you in a day or two.
Choosing the former option and asking, what are you talking about? We'll have him apologize for some very odd reasons.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that most people don't remember when we'll meet in the future. Wait, this is yesterday's future. I'm the one that's confused. Anyway, you're going to help me find calipers and tongs. No point in denying it. You've already agreed tomorrow.
When asked, how are we helping with calipers and tongs again? Tove will explain a thing or two about his current project and the challenges of gravity.
I'm using them to build my skyboat. Just between you and me, the hardest part has been getting the water not to fall out of the air.
If we respond, wait, there's a skyboat, he will tell us about his project, turning the worn-out old boat, supposedly in his house, into a skyboat.
A marvelous contraption. I've gotten it to float in water perfectly. Now if I can just get the water to fly through the air. That's what the calipers and tongs are for. I need them to keep the water airborne.
When we leave him, he will greet us farewell with words.
Back to work I go.
A quest is then added to our journal titled Work is Never Done and reads, Tove the Unrestful is looking for calipers and tongs. He says you'll pay 5 gold for each of them. I don't remember agreeing to help him though, but somehow I am. Perplexed at our entire interaction, we follow Tove back to his abode, located in southeastern Bliss, only a few feet away from the entrance to Crucible. Inside we find an unremarkable residence. However, it's when we ascend the stairs to the second floor we find the Nord, who spends all his spare time working on his boat, either hammering at it with an axe backwards or examining it. Seeing he's actually working on a skyboat, our yearning for airborne travel takes hold. And approaching him, he'll share some good news.
My boat is coming along swimmingly.
If we say, I'm sorry, we haven't been able to find any calipers and tongs just yet, Tove will be quite disappointed with the world.
None? The world is devoid of calipers and tongs? What a sad state of affairs.
If, however, we already have a few of his desired items in our inventory, he will offer to take them off our hands right away for 5 gold apiece.
I see you found some. Frankly, I could use all of them. Are you willing to sell them? 5 gold each, just like I told you, next week.
We can refuse saying, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to sell them to you, but he'll say,
You don't want to sell them? I'll have to get you to sign a no-competition writ a few days ago. Can't have you building your own skyboat.
If we accept, he will apologize for not giving us gold sooner.
Excellent. Here's your money. I should have paid you last week. I'm dreadfully sorry about the delay. Back to work I go.
We then begin our arduous task of scouring the Isles for calipers and tongs, starting with a surefire location, the local smithy, the missing pauldron found in Bliss. although this does count as stealing. Calipers and tongs, it should be noted, are most frequently found as clutter in random loot. Most crates and barrels have a chance of spawning either item, and after 3 days their contents will regenerate, we can check them again, making this less of a quest and more of a test of our patience. After ransacking every residence and shopfront of New Sheoth, we begin to broaden our search, cursing under our breath the fact that we're tasked with collecting so many of 2 items that were, until now, absolutely a waste of inventory space and therefore were avoided entirely. During our travels, we also meet several citizens of the Shivering Isles who have heard of Tove's plight, starting with Hale's resident poet Halion, who's dedicated a rhyme to Tove.
Of Tove in bliss, I tell you this, there's something that he desires. He builds and builds and builds all night until his weary bones retire.
Meanwhile, in Split, the demented Atrabi will mischievously tell us,
Tove the Unrestful in bliss is definitely not collecting items to build something. He couldn't build a rock with a stone. If you've got calipers or tongs, he'll steal them from you. He certainly won't buy them. See you.
Maddeningly, our journal doesn't guide us in our endeavours whatsoever or tell us that we actually need a whopping 100 calipers and tongs to successfully complete said quest. And our best bet, unfortunately, is to leave the Shivering Isles altogether. As in Cyrodiil, one notable location is Tidewater Cave. Inside, we find 3 trolls, each carrying 1 to 7 calipers depending on our character's level. Like barrels, the trolls and their calipers will respawn after 3 days and therefore can be killed and looted repeatedly. After painstakingly collecting all 100 calipers and tongs, we find, unfortunately, working for someone living a week ahead of everybody else has its disadvantages. After we return to Tove in his dwelling in bliss, delivering the hefty mix of calipers and tongs, saying, "Alright, here you are, Tove. 100 calipers and tongs. Your skyboat dream is about to be reality. Just make sure to save us a seed in it." Thus completing the quest, he will question.
Calipers? Tongs? What would I need those for? Oh, you must be thinking about the skyboat. Yesterday's news. I'm working on a collapsible fork now. I just have to tear apart the boat to get to the hinges. Back to work I go.
Further adding insult to injury, if we approach Tove after completing the quest, he will simply greet us with his initial introduction.
Hello, my name is Tove the Unrestful, they call me. So much to do and so little time. There's only one of me to go around, you know.
And on subsequent meetings, he flits back to talking about building the boat he just tore apart, saying,
Hello there. You don't have any experience building boats, do you? I'm rather stuck. What, without any instructions and all? Confusing stuff. Goodbye. Back to work I go.
Robbed of our dream of flight. Although 500 septims richer, we're enraged at the cruel ploy by the developers and feel madness take hold. And we can express our rage directly by felling the foolish Nord with a precise blow to the noggin he should have seen coming a week ago. On his corpse, we find his dumb axe, his okay outfit, and keys to his and the adjoining Sontaire's house, as well as 13 septims. Leaving his abode in disgust, we then trudge down to search the New Sheoth graveyard, where his gravestone will read, "In memory of Tove the Unrestful. His works completed, may he finally find rest." If you want to see every other resident of New Sheoth's graveyard's humorous tombstone after they're perished, make sure to click the video in the end screen. Also, as a fun reward for sticking around till the end of the video, as with other residents of New Sheoth, and by demand in the comments, at different stages in the main quest, Tove will share different rumours with other NPCs, which I will share in a moment. But for now, I want to say thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe for more dark lore.
I heard there's a new adventurer trying to get into the Shivering Isles. No real matter to me, unless he can build a boat. Heard the gatekeeper was killed. Waste of a creature that size, anyway, if you ask me. I heard the Resonator of Judgment is working again. Can't say that it affects me much, so I'll just go about my business. Théoden seems upbeat again. I know how hard it is to get anything done when you're not feeling up to it. I've no time for conspiracy. Get in the way, they do. Glad I wasn't involved at all. Too much to do. No time to talk about the Great Torch being relighted. Even if you don't agree with the method, you have to respect the hard work it takes to replace a Duchess. Even if you don't agree with the method, you have to respect the hard work it takes to replace a Duke. The Fringe has been destroyed. Who knows what could happen next? I'll have to work quickly to get my affairs in order. They can build a new gatekeeper, but I can't manage to get anything done. I'm overtasked, I tell you. Perhaps now that our guards are restored, things will quiet down, and I'll actually be able to get something done. Maybe it's not worth doing any more work. I mean, it certainly seems like we're all doomed. What's the point? Finally, all this mess is sorted out. I can get back to my work. Oh, I've lost so much time.